Hello everyone, and welcome to the weird, scary and horrible parts of humanity. Today we are going to explore American academic, poet and sex offender George Zinkhan, who became a mass murderer. Born on the 17th of February 1952 in Baltimore, Maryland, and growing up in Bogart, Georgia, Zinkhan graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in English Language from Swarthmore College, a private liberal art college in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. He then proceeded to undertake a Master's in Business Administration at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan, graduating with high distinction in 1979 before undertaking a doctorate in Business Administration, graduating with his final degree from the University of Michigan in 1981. For the record, the University of Michigan is the oldest university in the state of Michigan and is considered one of the best universities in the world, ranked number 22 in the world by the QS 2021 University World Ranking. Immediately following his graduation, he became a professor of marketing at the University of Houston in Houston, Texas, where he remained for 13 years. The university is ranked in the top 651 to 700 universities in the world by the QS 2021 University World Ranking. He also spent a year during his time at the University of Houston as an associate professor with the University of Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1987, which is ranked 140th in the world by the QS 2021 University World Ranking. While in Houston, he married and had 3 children. However, by the early to mid-1990s, Zinkhan was accused of sexually harassing multiple female academics, with a lawsuit brought against him. Forced to resign from the University of Houston in 1994 in disgrace and his marriage in tatters, a now divorced Zinkhan became a professor at the University of Georgia in Atlanta, Georgia, where he would remain for the rest of his life. This was a significant downfall for Zinkhan's career, with the University of Georgia ranked in the top 501 to 510 universities in the world by the QS 2021 University World Ranking. From 1994 to 2001, he was a department head of the University of Georgia's Terry College of Business Department of Marketing and Distribution, as well as endowed as chair of the department's Coca-Cola Company professor from 1994 until the end of his life. Additionally, he was a marketing professor at Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, which is actually ranked 236 in the world by QS. He also owned a house in Amsterdam. Zinkhan forged on with his academic career and life despite his sexual harassment allegations in the mid-1990s, having published 100 articles and written 3 books. He was also a review editor of the Journal of Marketing from 1991 to 1995 and editor of the Journal of Advertising over the same time period, as well as of the Journal of Academy Marketing Science from 2003 until 2006. He developed a love for sports, art, opera and architecture, playing on the intramural softball team with some of his graduate students. Despite his stellar academic career, Zinkhan was distrusted by many of his colleagues and neighbours. He would rarely string together 5 or 10 words before disengaging and was seen as standoffish and introverted. He was also disliked by his students. Some colleagues were openly afraid of him as they knew about his troubled past at the University of Houston, but the University of Georgia did nothing about it, despite complaints about Zinkhan being raised. But Zinkhan was never really seen as a harmful individual, and was really seen as just a bit of a weirdo. He remained close to some colleagues, remembering their birthdays and bringing gifts to them at Christmas. Able to escape his sexual harassment behaviours at the University of Houston in the early 1990s, Zinkhan went on to marry Mary Bruce, who was born on the 1st of June 1961 in Augusta, Georgia. The pair lived in Bogart, Georgia, and had a son and daughter, who, at Zinkhan's death, were aged 8 and 10. Bruce was an attorney practicing family law and was active in the local theatre scene at the Athens Community Theatre in Athens, Georgia, as well as president of the Town and Gown Players, which has been producing live theatre in Athens since 1953. Contrary to her husband, Bruce was seen as vivacious and extroverted. On the 25th of April 2009, following an argument between Zinkhan and his wife, at the time aged 47, Bruce, as well as Tom Tanner, aged 40, who is pictured to the left, and Ben Teague, who is pictured to the right, aged 63, were murdered by Zinkhan as he was driving past in his red Jeep Liberty during a picnic reunion of actors of the Town and Gown Players. Tanner was shot first, with Tanner having been a specific target, and 2 bystanders were injured by bullet fragments. Tanner was a set designer for the company and starring as Dr. Watson in that weekend's production of Sherlock Holmes: The Final Adventure, and it was suspected that there was a love triangle between Zinkhan, Bruce, and Tanner. After the shooting, Zinkhan drove to his home in Bogart, Georgia, 10 miles away from Athens, and dropped his 2 children off, who were unaware of their mother's shooting. Clarke County Police began investigating and found that Zinkhan and Bruce had marriage difficulties, despite neighbours and colleagues noting that the pair did not appear to show marriage problems. Teague was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. On the same day, Zinkhan was charged with the 3 murders, and a state arrest warrant was issued in Clarke County. A federal arrest warrant was issued on the 26th of April 2009 after he was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Professor Barbara Carroll at the Terry College of Business School warned her colleagues in an email that Zinkhan was dangerous and believed that she was targeted by Zinkhan, with her life saved as she was at a movie theatre instead of at the Town and Gown Players reunion. Zinkhan had a map to Professor Carroll's house, and it is widely believed that Zinkhan wanted to kill her. However, police insisted that there was not a lot of pre-planning in the shooting, and it was seen, rather, as a spur-of-the-moment decision. His red Jeep Liberty was found in the northwest of Clarke County on the night of the 30th of April 2009, following a signal from his cell phone, 10 miles out of Athens. However, Zinkhan was nowhere to be seen. Zinkhan had purchased a flight in March to Amsterdam, which was to depart Atlanta on the 2nd of May 2009, but he never showed up for his flight. On the 9th of May 2009, Zinkhan's body was found 1 mile from his car behind Cleveland Road Elementary School. He had dug his own grave and committed suicide to avoid justice. The grave was 15 to 18 inches deep, and he had used an old wooden pallet which he covered with dirt and debris, pulling it over the top of the hole before firing a single shot from a .38 caliber handgun into his head. In the grave, a .28 caliber and the .38 caliber handgun he had used to commit suicide were found in the makeshift grave. No suicide note was found. Zinkhan, the esteemed academic, was buried in a pauper's grave, having been claimed by a son from his first marriage. Zinkhan's brother Bruce and his sister-in-law became guardians of his 2 children following the murders. Bruce's body was taken back to her hometown of Augusta, where she is buried in Westover Memorial Park. Thank you for watching. Please do yourself a favour and hit that like and subscribe button and the bell icon to inform you when new videos come out. It helps more than you know, and your support is truly appreciated. You'll also be seeing 2 other videos for you to check out. Until next time, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind to everyone you meet, and have an amazing day.